But when it comes to people who split their ticket, I think a lot of people cited several different things. One is there is universal frustration in this country, much of it I actually think justified, that is raging at a political establishment that centers corporate interests, billionaires, and puts their needs ahead of the needs of working Americans.
A political establishment that puts billionaires and corporations ahead of working class Americans. And that's a view led by Senator Bernie Sanders on the left and sadly by Donald Trump on the right, as crazy as that sounds. So in this case, in AOC's district where she amplified the populist message, a lot of voters split their tickets supporting AOC for Congress and Donald Trump for president. And that highlights just how crucial the populist anti-establishment message has become. Voters are increasingly drawn to candidates and campaigns that challenge the status quo. And by the way, if you need an example of an establishment insider who appears out of touch with voters and can't even directly answer a simple question, look no further than Democrat House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries on CBS News.
Do you believe that Vice President Harris should have created more of a distinction between what she was going to do up against what the Biden administration is doing?
Well, we'll have an opportunity to engage in after-action analysis, and I expect that will happen not just over the next few days, but over the next few weeks and the next few months. It will be required. From our perspective as House Democrats, I think we're going to have a family conversation that needs to be clear-eyed, candid, and comprehensive to figure out what happened on election night, why did it happen, and how do we improve upon the performance in order to put us in the strongest possible position to deliver for the American people moving forward.
Translation: yes, we will try to find out why we lost. But the verbal mumbo-jumbo to say that took so much time that by the time Jeffries was done, you'd almost forgotten the question. Democrats would be better served to try and answer the question like a normal person, because normalcy and straight talk, that's what people are seeking these days in their political leaders. Say something like, obviously, we Democrats failed. Voters did not like what we were saying or pledging, so yes, we need to reevaluate. Jeffries and others need to get back to talking like a regular person, not talking like an establishment politician. And that effort would be easier, in my view, if Democrats stood for something bigger than being against Donald Trump or being against Republicans, as big as that is. If you look at several issues that progressives have championed, Medicare for all, raising the minimum wage, making college more affordable, closing the wealth gap, polls show a clear majority of Americans support the progressive position. On Medicare for all, for example, even a majority of Republicans support such an expansion of health care. But Republican and Democratic political leaders alike are beholden to healthcare corporations and pharmaceutical companies, so the Democratic position comes out as making minor healthcare and insurance changes at the margins, not doing something big. And Democrats, therefore, with that small-minded approach instead of something big, lose the chance to inspire voters over healthcare and create a movement that would bring energy and enthusiasm to an election. And by the way, Medicare for all is clearly an anti-establishment position. Talk about upsetting the apple cart. And the goal, of course, is to lower healthcare costs, expand coverage, and make life easier for all Americans. It is populist and it is different. And those are the themes that are resonating with American voters. Sadly, only the Republican Party seems to be offering a populist anti-establishment message right now. And for the GOP, it's part of an effort through more tax cuts for the rich and deporting immigrants that will further divide us. Democrats should stand for bringing Americans together and uniting us. But the Democratic Party should also aim to do big, inspiring things that will help the working class. Continuing the status quo of the Biden administration was not enough. Stability lost to instability. The establishment lost to shaking things up. Everything is fine lost to I hear your pain. Democrats, take note. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.